start. So, anyone down for sergeant tonight? Say 6:30.
I can't do sergeant. I'm going to be on the other side of the campus. How about we go to Blaze Pizza?
Wait, but I've been spending a lot of money lately. Can we go to a dining hall instead? Oh, and also I have a meeting at 6:45, so can we eat at 6:15 latest?
This is a problem that we all face in our daily lives when we're trying to make group decisions through group messaging, iMessage, Facebook. That's why we're so excited to bring you QuickPoll, the quickest, simplest, and clearest mobile tool to make group decisions easily. My name is Ivan.
I'm Will.
My name's Armand.
So we've broken down the group decision-making process into 4 basic steps. First, you have the idea. Next, the idea is suggested to the group and conversation begins. At conversation, the process slows down. As the initial asker is faced with a deluge of different opinions and schedules, making it very, very difficult to come to a decision. Finally, the decision is made. Though prone to human error, it's often suboptimally.
So that's really the problem with group decision making through group messaging apps. It can be very time consuming, it can be, you might arrive at the wrong conclusion, or it's hard to find an objective consensus. And so we've all heard time is money, money is time. And we often waste a lot of time making these group decisions when we get so many inputs from text. And so that's why QuickPoll, what it'll do for you, is that it'll essentially help you reach a fast consensus with an objective outcome. And it'll help you enhance productivity while managing decision fatigue.
So what we're looking to bring is a mobile platform where users can ask and obtain time-sensitive information and arrive to a mutual and quick decision. So let's talk about the user interface. This is what we're really excited about. So this is a make a poll page. What you can do, suppose Aman wanted to ask his friends where everybody wants to eat. He can say, right in the question area, where should we eat? And then list a couple options about where his friends may want to eat. Then he will add a time urgency. Right here, he'll list 2 hours. That way, it tell the people that he's polling that they need to hurry up and make a decision so that they can come to a conclusion. Next is the main page. Here you can see that the active polls and inactive polls. The active polls stand for 2 things. It means that a user either has not voted on the poll yet, or it means that the conclusion has not come yet from the poll. So if I were to click on one of those polls, suppose I clicked on Aman's poll, where should we eat? And I'm a voter, I see his question and I see a couple options. Right there you can see by the darkness of the blue, you can see how many votes there's been. I can click on an option and press submit and add my data to the poll. And again, the time urgency is there to expedite the group decision-making process.
So what happens when a QuickPoll is actually sent out? This is where the real magic of QuickPoll happens, because everything happens without you even unlocking your phone. So straight up on your lock screen, you get a notification, and it'll say who the poll is from, what's it about. With a simple swipe, you can either decline it if you don't want to take part in it, or you can accept if you want to. And let's say you click accept. Then it'll take you to a widget in your notification center, again without unlocking your phone, and you have all the options for the different options for the poll. You can just click to vote, you can see how many people voted, and you see that time urgency so you know you need to make a decision. So once a decision has been made, the poll has been closed, then you get a clear graph of the distribution of votes, and you also have the option to integrate it to your calendar so you're reminded when the event actually comes to the poll.
For our target users, our initial adopters are college students aged 16 to 25. As these students are centralized around campuses, we can easily utilize the campus ambassador model in order to quickly achieve a large user base.
So let's talk about the competition real quick. So we can essentially categorize them into 3 groups. So we have When to Meet and Doodle, which are scheduling web apps. The problem here is that they don't provide a mobile interface or mobile platform to make these decisions quickly and on the fly. The problem with SMS, GroupMe, these group messaging software is that you have so many inputs that it's hard to reach one objective consensus quickly. And lastly, we have SurveyMonkey, different surveying apps, which are great, but the problem here is that they lack the time urgency that QuickPoll offers. So you don't necessarily immediately go for it, and you end up pushing it off.
So for expansion, what we're looking to do is expand first at Northwestern campus, show the model works here. We're going to expand first through word of mouth, and as Will mentioned, campus ambassadors. This way we can spread the word about QuickPoll. Secondly, when, suppose Aman had the app QuickPoll and I do not, he wants to send me a QuickPoll, he can first invite through his contacts, invite me to QuickPoll, and I'll be encouraged to download the application. And finally, the long-term revenue stream, what we intend on doing is allowing companies to have a fixed poll on the main page to survey key demographics and find analytical consumer analytics based on the polls. And that's QuickPoll. When you need a decision, QuickPoll will get the job done. Quick, clean, and simple.
I've got a revenue model call out there. I'm a little concerned about your customer being these companies, but yet your users being people that want to poll each other. So how do you reconcile that? Where, like, if you want your business to be sustainable, the main way you're going to do that is by basically advertising a poll on your main site. But you're not directly serving, like, the focus gets a little crossed there.
Right, so to clarify, what I meant is on the main page, in the long term, once the application has become more widespread, a company can have one fixed poll. It won't be intrusive at all. It's meant to just be there if the user would like to provide input. They can reply saying, like, suppose Coca-Cola wanted to know whether this user prefers Diet Coke versus Coke. Coke could just advertise, like, put a poll there, and the user could just put their input in. But they're not obliged to respond at all in any way.
And the key again is that you'll see you won't get a notification from the advertisements because we don't want to be intrusive to our customer base, especially with any kind of advertising. The key is that right here in the active polls will show up, poll from certain company, and that way you can reply to it. You can still give in consumer trends, that kind of information, but it wouldn't be intrusive for our users.
Okay. And then it sounds like with the competitive landscape, I don't know. I'd be willing to bet that there's probably some apps out there that are focused specifically on this type of situation, right? Are there not?
So what we found is that either we have like large communication methods such as you have iMessage, GroupMe, that kind of thing, and the core of their experience isn't necessarily these group decision making. It's really just being transparent, getting that communication. And then smaller communications don't have an option to quickly make a decision as a group in the same interface and the same clarity that we provide.
So there's no app that focuses on group decision making right now?
There are many, obviously.
Yeah.
But what we haven't found a single one that gives that, first of all, the time urgency, which is very key. Because oftentimes there are a lot of scheduling apps, there are a lot of apps, to coordinate schedules, but they don't have, the poll is going to close in this many hours, so like get a decision done.
It's all, sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
We're focused on the short run,
Yeah.
which is how we diverge from most other companies. And in that way, we're just trying to get the daily activities, the little decision fatigue that you experience every day. We're trying to expedite that process.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I suspect that, given that I would assume that there are a number of apps for group decision making that aren't being used, right? We still use text messaging to do it. Right. We still use these things to do it. So there still hasn't been an adequate replacement. I'm concerned about whether there is an adequate replacement for that right now. And whether this could be one, because you're making everyone do more work. I have to download something else, whereas where I spend most of my time is in sending text messages to people to plan things for different reasons and purposes. So how you're actually going to get people to switch from what's super easy and common and standard for them and widely adopted and accepted by all these people, I don't know. Part of me feels like, is there like a third-party app in Facebook that can help with group decision making? I would start there.
Yeah, so there are like polls in Facebook, for example, that I know some people use. It's not a very popular method because, one, again, there's no time urgency, and also one thing that's key about us is that we work everything through notifications. So although it obviously takes time to download the application, but once you have it installed, everything's without even unlocking your phone. So it's just 2 swipes, 2 taps, and then you already send in your information. It's done. So that way everybody is on the same page, and it's a very rapid process.
Honestly, there are other applications like that, but they lack the without locking your phone, it makes it so much faster. And often browser-based, you have to unlock your phone, go online, and then fill out some form, or log into the application and then put in all your data, and then you're done. With us, it's so much faster that I think we would be definitely recognized over them.
Well, I would say that differentiating factor feels fragile to me, because how many other apps can figure out how to set up notifications to be before you unlock the phone?
Right.
Like they had the technical capabilities to do that. So really, like, what's the moat here? What's gonna protect you?
Right, so basically, I guess that's kind of like a defensibility
Yeah.
issue, because also there's very few barriers to entry, especially in the
Right.
kind of app world. So basically what we're looking to do is, initially, it's very hard to be a defensible solution. What we're looking at, we're trying to make, we're trying to enrich the productivity, make a new experience. So we're trying to be new, unique, creative. And then we're going to take into account all of the customer feedback and trying to really build a loyal customer base. And then through repeated exercise of those kind of strategies with our great team dynamic, that's how we're hoping to become creative and defensible.
Well, just some quick feedback. One thought is,
Absolutely.
with your target users, I think the best thing to do would be to focus on a particular place or community. So if you want to be the best, like, replacement for making decisions for group texts at Northwestern, and instead of everyone sending group texts at Northwestern or on Facebook, you're like all of a sudden you get everyone here to use the app.
Absolutely.
That's how you can start to build up that base. So.
Right, so that's a great point, because we're looking initially at the college market, looked initially
Yeah.
at Northwestern,
Mhm.
campus ambassadors, and then we slowly, kind of roll it out to other Illinois colleges.
Yeah, but I would start even smaller than that. I'd start with a student group or something. Get like everybody in Epic to no
That's a
longer,
great idea.
like something like that. Just start as small as possible.
I know, because that's the way I started using Slack, which is huge.
Right.
It's really based off of that, that's a great idea. Thank you.
The other thing to be careful about is a lot of people notifications, people are getting overwhelmed with those as well. So if you're basing your entire model on notifications, you have to be careful about what point you want to trigger that notification, because people are going to just start shutting it off. I think I've got all my notifications shut off for everything but my text messages.
Me too.
So if your entire model is based on engaging through the notification, you have to either be very specific at what point you want to engage with that, or provide some other mechanism, because that's not the way people engage right now.
So of course, all the voting doesn't happen through notifications, that's essentially the trigger. So we're trying to kind of make it like a habit, so once you see a notification,